Hello and welcome back to this Photoshop tutorial series, Introduction to Photoshop. And today we'll be talking about brushes. I don't know, maybe over the course of this tutorial you started with me and you've done some research and there are things called brushes in Photoshop and you wonder when is this guy gonna get there? Well, you're in luck because today we're working with brushes. I'm gonna take you through the whole process. There's no skipping, no jumping. It's all the way from beginning. So, brushes. What are brushes? They're basically, or how do I even put them? Honestly, I don't know how to define them. I just need to show you. The basic ones, though, I can define. Basic ones just kind of mimic the stroke of a painter. Soft brush, hard brush, dry brush, and all that. Well, these are example of brushes. And if you're using anything less than Photoshop CC 2018, you probably won't have this look when you open up your brushes, but it's basically the same anyway. So these are legacy brushes, these default brushes that are available to you in Photoshop. Default ones, the soft round brush, and you have dry media brushes, and you have wet brushes, and finally you have the special effect brushes. Um, so I guess that's like the best way to really explain brushes. They kind of bring in this special effect to your work. And okay, notice how I click on this settings icon here. That's because that is how you're able to create new groups of brushes and import new brushes, export brushes. Basically, you can even create your own brushes. I don't know if I have the time to go through everything about brushes in this one video. Maybe we're gonna break this into two videos. But let's see how it goes. For now, let's just dive into it. So I'm gonna fill. You know what? Let me undo that. I'm gonna fill this background layer with a color using our paint bucket tool. I told you before, paint bucket, common to gradient, and then the next one here. And then let's just change that foreground color to something maybe yellow, something like that. I like yellow. Maybe not yellow. You know what? Let me go to that red I like so much. Okay, there. So I'm just gonna fill that. Very good. So now brushes. Just press B on your keyboard and you're back to brushes. Basically, that's just it. So let's look at a few things. Brushes have the hardness of the brush and the size of the brush, which you can kind of edit here. You can configure all that here. And now check out this property bar. That just gives you a little more that you can do with brushes. The flow of the brush. That flow kind of like shows just how much of that brush do you want. We get into all of that, but for now let's just look at brushes by face value. So right now I have this my brush at 50%, just so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to increase the size, not 50%, 50px. I'm going to increase how my brush is something, say 120px. Okay, so there, and then I can write. Oh, sorry, my brush is working, but okay, here's a new thing. Here's something I have to mention. Every time you're using a brush, make sure you're doing it on a separate layer. So we're gonna come here and create a new layer, just like so. Layer 1, and I should rename that. You go ahead and rename that. I'm not gonna do it right now. And I want to write with this yellow, this background, and I don't want to have to come here and select the yellow all over. Here's how to do that. Just press X. X on your keyboard, switch toggles your foreground background color. Yeah, your foreground color becomes your background color, and your background color becomes your foreground color. That's just it. Just X again, and we toggle it. X again, we toggle. So I'm just gonna write, what do I write now? Just write my name with this brush. Huh? There. All right. So there, I broke this video in the middle, and now I'm continuing. So in case my voice texture changes, some changes, so I apologize for that. Let me just show you another thing we can do. So I'm gonna just hide this layer, this Alex layer. Oh, it's funky. So I just want to show us what we can do with brushes, how we can use brushes to kind of mimic gradients. So for that, I'm gonna create another layer. Like I said, always create a layer when you're using your brushes. And I'm gonna press B again on my keyboard. B, letter B. Now I want to grow my brush. Now I've got size 50%, but I want to grow it without having to change it here, without having to drag this slider. Here's how you do that. You need to look for the bracket open on your keyboard. The bracket open or curly braces open, whatever. So bracket open grows it, and sorry, that was a mess. Bracket open actually shrinks it, while bracket close grows it. So there we go. Bracket close, shrink, bracket open, grows, bracket close. Oh, sorry, bracket close, open, grows it, and bracket open shrinks. So you just try that, you figure it out. Don't never mind what I'm saying right now. But it's just between those, okay? Between the bracket open and bracket close strings. So for this, I'm gonna select the white color as my foreground color. Oh, that is totally white, and I'm gonna grow it just a little more. And I'm just gonna go ahead and fire, just splash it right there. And for that, I'm gonna change the transform mode to overlay. Okay, so see how that kind of like gives a gradient look. Probably just splash it a few more times so I get the gradient thing. I think I'm messing it up now. So you get it. You could just, I could reduce the opacity just to give it the gradient look and not something else. So there I kind of mimic a gradient from my, how do I call it? Is this tonic red or what? I don't know what I call it. From this color into something brighter of that same color. Okay, so there, that's one of the ways we use brushes really in Photoshop. As you develop as a creative artist or as a photographer, and you're editing your shoots, sometimes you want to create highlights, and brushes is a good way to do that. So that's that. Again, I'm gonna hide that, and I'm gonna go to the next stage of this tutorial series. I mean, this video. Sorry. I'll press B again to bring up my brushes, and I'd like you to experiment with some of these. I'm gonna experiment myself, but you know, I'm not gonna cover everything because there's something else I'd like to cover in this tutorial. For this, I'm going to choose a black color as, I'm just gonna splash that right there. Wow, what's going on right now? There's a problem. My floor is now 55, which I don't want to do. I want my floor to be 100% right there. Wow, this is not interesting. So okay, so you get that, and okay, so for that, that's that. Let's grab another one. Let's grab a pressure effect brush. Yikes. Okay, let's grab this. There. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna put that on a separate layer. Okay, there. So why you put them on separate layers, so you can move them around and treat them separately. For this now, I'm gonna Ctrl T and just rotate it to give me a different direction for it. I'm gonna just rotate this also. Oh, what did I do? Sorry, undo that. Ctrl T, I'm gonna rotate this, bring it down here. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm just gonna make it pretend to be like a floor or a ground, something like that. I know you can have these just flying there. I get it. I'm gonna duplicate this one. Ctrl J. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. By the way, Ctrl J is how you duplicate your layer while having this transform tool around it. If you right click, you get this option. So I'm just gonna flip this horizontally. Just wanted to just flip in that direction, just like so. Okay, I'm gonna select these three layers together. So you can do that. Select the topmost, hold your shift and select the bottom. As long as you try and select everything, you do that in one sweep move. Okay, so I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm just gonna type something and say www dot leaves nation .com. I made a mess of that. I'm gonna come to my character and change it to black. Okay, and there we are. Okay, so we have successfully used brushes in creating a nice artwork. I think this is nice. I'd like to hear your opinion on that. Okay, so because I love this artwork so much, I'm just gonna create a new one, a new document to show you all the things about brushes. Okay. Again, for this one, I'm just gonna put a yellow or something. I'll put a yellow. No. I think I'll put something greenish and yellowish. There. I like all these colors that kind of midway, so I'm gonna press G on my keyboard and select paint bucket and just splash that there. Thank you very much. And then B. See how we're right back to the previous brush? That's what happens, but I don't want to do that. So what I want to show us here is how to bring in our own custom brushes. So I don't need all the brushes, or shall I say all the brushes I presently have. None of them fulfill my desires, sort of. So now we're gonna import new brushes, and this is how to do it. Come here to the setting and go to import brushes, and I have some brushes here already in this folder, and I'm just gonna explain this a little bit. Brushes come with as .abr. See that? So .abr, and then that shows you that's a brush right there. So I'm just gonna load that, and see here I have 20 explosion brushes, just like so. So now we want to explode things. Again, I'm gonna create a new layer, and I'm gonna choose, you know what, I'm gonna just reverse this my color, pressing X. I'm just gonna dial that down a little bit, just like so, and voila. But this is bad, right? I mean, I have this all jagged edges around it. I don't want that, so maybe I should just go up. Okay, a little more. Okay, yeah. Whoa. Let's make that soft light. Overlay. You know what? Play around with that. But what I really want to show you is how to import your own brushes, and you can import as many brushes as possible, really. But the problem with that is, if you import so many brushes, then your Photoshop is gonna be, it's gonna open slowly. Or how do I put that? It's gonna start up slowly. You're gonna wait a long time before your Photoshop starts up. Even before I started this series, I had to remove all my brushes, over 1 gig of brushes. I had to remove everything because my Photoshop was starting slowly, like sluggishly. So even this now, I'm gonna just delete that because I want my Photoshop to start as fast as possible. So that's how to import your own brushes and use them in Photoshop. Now, do I have enough time, or is this video getting too long? Okay, what I'd like to show you next is how you can create your own brushes, but I think I'm just gonna leave that to the next video. How you can make your own brushes and how you can do some brush preset works and all that. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Once again, I apologize for the break. I had to do this video over 2 days. I was doing it and so much distraction, and then I had to pause it and just continue the next day. So my name is Alexander Wosike. Thank you very much for watching this. Do like this video if you like one or two things, and subscribe to me.